So, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Android 20 or Dr. Gero. And this is an intriguing guy, I guess. I picked him up semi-recently from a place called Oyo, which is on Amazon and eBay. I think they're located in France. So, and I say I think they are located in France. Sticker is the European sticker, I'm guessing, for Italy, France, and the UK. Same place I got the Goku from. And he exists, and he is here. And this is the back of the box with poses. Hey, look, Android 19. I don't really care about 19, and the only reason I bought him is because I wanted Yamcha. Yamcha, however, will not be appearing in this review. He'll get his own review, and we'll talk about his character DLC that comes with Yamcha then. But as far as it goes, this is just the basic Android 20, so let's just get him out of the box and look at the tray. And the tray is interesting, to say the least. There's the figure, who is a little bit shorter than most, but I could see that. He has 3 faces. Another face? That's Goku. Yeah, he just comes with... I didn't even know this when I ordered him. He comes with another Goku face for the full power Goku, which I conveniently own. So that's good. And some other parts as well. And so getting Dr. Gero out of the box here, I'm probably not going to refer to him as Android 20. I genuinely don't think many people probably do. It's Dr. Gero to me, and probably Dr. Gero to you too. And this is an interesting figure, to say the least. They pretty much captured the look spot on. He does have this massive puffy hairpiece, which is the reason I think he comes in one of the larger boxes. Otherwise, I don't think he would have. He just has this massive hair, which is kind of, I don't think it's on a ball joint. I think it's just on a hinge. And he is very interesting. His skin tone is kind of odd. It's like a very pale skin tone, which is interesting. He has the very good orange coloration. The yellow as well, looking good. The brown. The shoes looking quite nice. Look like bowling shoes to me, though. And I mean, just the detailing looks amazing on how, like, kind of poofy and baggy the clothing is. I love the shoulder detail, and when you do move them, it doesn't really break it, which is cool. I do have a slight scuff on mine because he decided to fall off of my shelf. My fault. I was reorganizing figuart boxes because I now have a ton of them, and I just realized they tipped over, and Frieza and Ginyu are in trouble. But that is okay. This is just a pretty solid figure for a character I don't really care about, and I basically bought because, if I'm being honest, I was going to get Yamcha, and then I was like, well, Yamcha comes with parts for this guy, and then I looked, and the place I got him from, Oyo, was low on him. There was like 3 left at the time, then I kept seeing it go down till there was 1 left, and I was like, I gotta do this now, because it's a decent price for him. He was still retail, so I was like, it's time. I gotta go for it. And I don't really regret it. He just looks pretty solid. Now, he does obviously come with, like, umpteen billion accessories, so let's kind of get into them first. First up, the worst hand, because everybody has them. Fists. The next hand is the waving hello hand. That's a joke, by the way. This is the one he did say hello to Yamcha, though, and put the hand through his chest. That's what that hand would be. And I should mention, because this is the first hand, you can see it, they all have the little red kind of laser energy place, or energy blast spot, which is very cool. They all do have it on every hand, other than the fists, because it's not visible, but they all do have it. Next up, the open grip. And it is an open grip hand. They all usually have it. And again, the little energy port there. And last for the sets of hands, the key blast type of hand. So yes, that's the blast hand, which is great. It looks pretty good, but that's not the last. That's the last of the sets of hands. He comes with 1 unique left hand, which is why I've been using the left. And that would be this left hand. Now, this left hand has an accessory that goes with it as well, which is the Android's remotes. And one thing I do have to say is they probably should do a new version of Android 17 and 18 from the Cell Saga. I know they did do them, but I think they were a little while ago. So they're probably very much in need, because I feel like a lot of people want those. The androids I'm looking at are the ones that I think kind of suck, I usually hear, which is the Survival Arc tournament. But you do have this very good remote, which looks quite nice when he holds it. This is pretty much how I have him posed, just with the key blast hand. like that. That's pretty much how I have it posed. So sticking with the arms for a minute, we have this part, which is a alternate right arm for when his arm gets cut off. Now to see if I can actually get it off. There we go. Just rip it off like so. And you can kind of emulate that last bit when he's being chased down after his hand is cut off. And I do like that they went through with all the detail. The detailing on this part here looks quite good. It's very nice. It's very well sculpted. It just looks really, really fantastic. Now, next up is the kind of head accessories, which of course would be faces and everything, but that's not the only head accessory. You can remove his hat, similar to how it is in the show. You have this big, large top hat looking thing, which, no, I thought it was a scuff. It's just actually like plastic, which kind of sucks. And then you have his little brain here, which is underneath, which does go on a very specific way. Every dirt bike decides to drive by while I do this, every time. It's an unknown reason. You can put that on there. One way is a bit looser than the other, so you just got to put it on the other way. And you have this very interesting look for him, which, I mean, it's cool. I like it. There is a lot of cool sculpting up in there, which is nice. It's just a pretty cool part nonetheless. But now we have his faces, which, starting with his generic stern face, that's what you would expect. Every figure has a neutral face. Next up, the same thing, but looking left. A smiling grimace face. It's pretty much what it is. He just has a smiling face. And the next one's my favorite. Absolutely losing his mind, maniacally laughing. I would love to put this face on him with the Yamcha thing. I really would. I think it would be hilariously. I just love this face. It looks good. No, I mean, there is technically one more face. And Dr. Gero's last face is this one. That's not his. That's full power Goku's. Ta-da. And this is when he's getting hit by the heart virus. Again, easy swap. Nothing really spectacular here. We're just going to swap it out and show it. Yeah, he looks like he's about to keel over and die. Like I said, no idea this came with it. It was kind of just a little bonus. It's a little interesting. That's really it. So that would be all of the accessories for Dr. Gero. Now let's just get into the articulation, which is pretty solid. The head is there per usual, but the problem is the giant hairpiece. Now, while this does have some articulation itself, it's a little meh, if I'm being honest. It pretty much gets caught on the shoulders all the time, and it can't move as well as you'd hope. Honestly, like it's there for head tilting and everything like that, but looking side to side is very hindered because he ends up looking down. So that is a bit of a shame, because it only goes up about that far, and it's still not enough to clear the shoulders unless they're like that, and even that's still iffy. The shoulders, which I showed earlier, they do go out, forward, and back. It has a butterfly, but it's very restricted. Double elbow, along with a wrist swivel with the typical joint of that you can rotate to get up and down and da-da-da-da-da. His waist joint area, very good articulation. Very good. It's actually quite nice. It's not very restricted as you'd think it would be with that. It is just very good. You have forward and back. Outward, kind of restricted. Knee joint, kind of restricted again, mostly because of how poofy the pants are. That's not a fault to the figure. I think that's more of a fault to the design of Dr. Gero than anything. And the feet do have the typical ankle joints. So, full articulation there with rotations and tilts. So again, very good articulation. And that's basically it for Dr. Gero. So what do I think about him? So as far as it goes for Dr. Gero here, Android 20, I think this figure is pretty good, actually. It's randomly good. It's a character I don't really care about, and I basically bought because, well, if I buy Yamcha, which the cheap Yamcha, then I say cheap Yamcha, it's not cheap Yamcha. If I bought Yamcha, which I did, I would have parts for him, and I'd be like, well, now I can't use them. And it's just one of those ones where it's like, yeah, I basically bought the accessory for the figure. And then the figure is solid, so I can't really complain. He's really, really good. The detailing looks awesome. The hair is phenomenal, I must say. That's one of the best detailing points. And he's a character from genuinely one of my favorite parts of Dragon Ball Z, which is the early Android saga, where it has that, like I said in the Cell review, kind of like eeriness to it. And when he shows up, the Android 19 and 20 entrance is phenomenal. I love that. I love when Yamcha finds them and he just, like, plunges his hand through his chest. And you have that pose. You can do that. You can literally do that. I'm going to have to try to do it. But you can do that with this figure and the Cell Saga Yamcha, which is really cool that they even did that. Of course they were going to do it. It's hard not to do an iconic moment like that. But it's just an amazing thing. Now, again, if you're not getting Yamcha like I did, if you're not interested in the guy, I can understand passing on it. I basically only got him because of Yamcha. And, I mean, he's a decent design. He's cool. I mean, he was about the same as Yamcha price-wise, so it worked out. But he does come with that one Goku face. If that's an incentive, it's really not. It's really not that good of a face. It's very situational. I don't have any interest really in the face, but the figure himself is a real big surprise. I think I do like him more than Yamcha, so there is that. As far as a rating, I'm honestly going to give him a 4.5. There's not really much he didn't do wrong. It's just the fact you can't really move the head. That's the biggest nitpick of the... It's not even a nitpick. That is just a problem. He can't move the head because of the hair. It does suck, but otherwise, it's a really good figure, and I would 100% recommend it if you can still get it. I know there's a lot of places that do still sell it. Like I said, I got this from Oyo on eBay or on Amazon. I'd recommend, if you want, look them up. They do have a couple of figuarts that aren't typically available, and they're actually pretty good prices. They're a lot cheaper than they are in most, like, comic book stores or whatever I can find. Like CMD Store, Toy Snowman, places like that in Canada. If you're familiar with them, and probably even BBTS, I don't know. But yeah, that's really it for this review. This has been a review of Android 20. It's been Delete signing out.